At around 30 meters below the surface, a diver swims into a narrow underwater cave. At first, everything seems calm. His flashlight cuts through the darkness as he follows the passage deeper inside. But then, with one wrong movement, the cave floor erupts into a cloud of silt. Within seconds, the water turns completely black. He can't see the walls. He can't see the exit. And somewhere in that darkness, the only path out has just disappeared. Cave diving is considered one of the most dangerous forms of diving in the world. Unlike normal scuba diving in the open ocean, cave divers enter underwater caves, where there is only one way in and one way out. Inside these caves, sunlight quickly disappears. Visibility can drop to almost zero if the sediment on the cave floor gets disturbed. And when that happens, divers can become completely disoriented. In open water, a diver who runs into trouble can simply swim upward to the surface. But in a cave, that option doesn't exist. Above you is solid rock. The only way to survive is to find your way back through the same narrow tunnels you entered. That's why cave divers rely on a simple but critical rule: a thin guideline stretched from the entrance of the cave deep into the darkness. Because in a place where one wrong turn can mean getting lost forever, that line might be the only thing guiding you back to the surface. But even experienced divers can underestimate how dangerous cave diving really is. Imagine swimming through a narrow underwater tunnel, hundreds of meters away from the entrance. The cave behind you slowly disappears into darkness. The only light comes from the small lamp attached to your mask. Then suddenly, one wrong movement disturbs the cave floor. Fine silt and sediment explode into the water like a cloud of smoke. Within seconds, visibility drops to zero. Not blurry, not dark, completely blind. You can't see your hands. You can't see the cave walls. You can't even see the guideline that is supposed to lead you back. Your breathing becomes faster. Your heart starts pounding inside the regulator, and in that moment, panic becomes the most dangerous enemy. Because inside an underwater cave, panic makes divers kick harder, move faster, and stir up even more sediment. The cave turns into a thick floating fog, and the more a diver struggles to find the exit, the easier it is to become completely lost inside the maze of tunnels. Inside cave diving, there is one rule every diver learns before entering a cave. It's called the rule of thirds. The idea is simple. 1/3 of your air is used to go inside the cave, 1/3 is used to come back out, and the final third is kept as an emergency reserve, because caves are unpredictable. Something can always go wrong. A diver can get lost, a light can fail, or the water can suddenly turn into complete darkness. That final reserve of air is supposed to save your life, but in reality, many divers break this rule. Sometimes because they feel confident, sometimes because they want to explore just a little deeper, and sometimes because turning back feels like giving up. So they keep swimming forward, deeper into the cave, farther from the entrance, until eventually, the moment comes when they check their air gauge again and realize something terrifying. They have already used more air than they should have. Now the exit is far away. The cave around them is silent, and every single breath suddenly feels far more precious than before. Inside underwater caves, light is the only thing separating a diver from total darkness. Unlike the open ocean, caves receive almost no natural light. Just a few meters from the entrance, everything becomes pitch black. That's why cave divers never rely on just one light. They always carry at least 3. One primary light and 2 backups. Because if all lights fail, the cave becomes something terrifying. A place where direction disappears, and where every tunnel looks exactly the same. Imagine swimming inside a narrow passage, when suddenly your primary light flickers. Once, twice, then it goes out. The cave instantly becomes darker. You quickly grab your backup light and turn it on. But now the pressure is different. You know something has already gone wrong. Your breathing becomes louder inside the regulator. Every sound echoes against the cave walls. And in that moment, divers are trained to stay calm. Because panic inside a cave can make things much worse. But fear's difficult to control. When the only thing keeping you out of total darkness is a single small beam of light. In cave diving, there is one small thing that can mean the difference between life and never coming back. The guideline. A thin white line that runs from the cave entrance, deep into the tunnels. Divers follow this line so they can always find their way back out. No matter how dark the cave becomes, no matter how poor the visibility gets, as long as a diver can feel that line, they know the direction to safety. But when panic begins, mistakes happen. A diver might kick too hard, stirring up thick clouds of silt, or accidentally drifting away from the line without noticing, and suddenly, the guideline is gone. The diver reaches out with their hands. Nothing. They search the water around them. Still nothing. Now the cave is completely dark. Visibility is zero. And the one path leading back to the entrance has disappeared somewhere in the black water. At this point, many divers start moving faster, swimming randomly through the tunnels, hoping to find the exit. But underwater caves are like a maze. Passages split into different directions. Some lead deeper into the cave. Others end at tight dead ends. And the more a diver searches without a guideline, the easier it becomes to get completely lost inside the darkness. That's why cave diving is often described as one of the most dangerous forms of diving in the world. Not because the caves are evil, but because one small mistake can quickly turn into a life-threatening situation, a broken light, a lost guideline, or a moment of panic in complete darkness. And unlike the open ocean, there is no direct path to the surface, only the long tunnel behind you. Many divers enter underwater caves every year. Most return safely, but some never find their way back out. Their stories remain hidden somewhere in the silent tunnels beneath the water. If you're fascinated by the extreme dangers of the underwater world, make sure to subscribe to Water Ends, because in this channel, we explore the most terrifying moments that can happen beneath the surface of the ocean.